The South African Independent Electoral Commission has approached the Apex Court of South Africa for clarity on Section 47 of the Constitution following a court order by the Electoral Court that set aside its decision to let former president and leader of Umkhonto we Sizwe, Jacob Zuma, to contest the upcoming elections. According to Section 47 of the Constitution, a candidate cannot be elected if they have been convicted. Previously, Jacob Zuma was convicted and served not more than 2 months in jail. In its statement, the Commission says its decision for an urgent appeal to the Constitutional Court is to get clarity on this matter from the highest court. Now, this comes irregardless of the IEC publishing the final list of candidates to be on the ballot paper.
The Commission confirms that it has lodged papers on an urgent basis directly to the Constitutional Court to appeal the orders of the Concord relating to the MK matter regarding the erstwhile president's candidature. The basis of the appeal is to obtain clarity on the correct legal interpretation of Section 147(1)(e) of the Constitution, so that there is absolute clarity for all role players and that there is legal certainty, so that the Commission is placed in a position for purposes of this election, but as well as for the future, to ensure that we apply that provision of the Constitution evenly across all role players. And we wish to take the moment to emphasize that by taking this decision, the Commission is not intending to enter into the political playing field, rather to obtain clarity from the highest court in the land, which court has constitutional matter jurisdiction.
Now, to further discuss this, I'm joined by MK spokesperson Lamulo Ndlela. Hello, Lamulo. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers.
Good evening. So, Lamulo, can you tell us how ready is the MK as a newly formed party for the upcoming elections?
Well, we are very ready. We have a machinery that is operating very well throughout all the provinces. As you may or may not know, we have qualified as per the prescripts set out by the IEC regarding meeting signatures for representation, including the ability to contest at a provincial level. We're proud to say that we covered all the provinces, and that we will be able to, or should we say, members of this country, members of this party, citizens, civil society, traditional leaders, religious leaders, anyone that is patriotic to seeing change in this country, be able to vote in all provinces.
Okay. Now, but what is your manifesto, and why is it important for South Africans to vote for you?
Well, South Africa's got a history where our problem started in 1652 when the Jan van Riebeeck landed, on our land, and including the British, and everything from then went south. I mean, our kindness was taken for granted, to be honest. However, we now sit in a situation as a country where we have a constitution that is based on Roman Dutch law. Now, we are Africans. We're not Roman, neither are we Dutch. So what we want is a constitution that is reflective of the natives. For instance, there's a number of issues that as it pertains to that. Issues around basic education. Why can't we have quality education? So there's a number of elements that we would like to change. For instance, the other element is we need to nationalize the Reserve Bank. It cannot be that our sovereignty is owned by, a family in Germany. They are shareholders of our National Reserve Bank. It can't be. We're saying that we need to protect our sovereignty, and in order to protect our sovereignty, we change the constitution we nationalize the Reserve Bank, we nationalize the mines, and ensure that South Africans and the African child gets beneficiation off the back of the resources that come with this land. So we want the land back that was stolen off the back of the arrival of the visitors of 1652. And we need to change this constitution. If you think about it, most African countries, I doubt that you'll find a situation where their constitutions are based on Roman Dutch law. And if that is the case, they should be fighting as Africans, and we should be fighting for our space. This is our country. These are our resources. We need to ensure that the constitution meets our requirements.
All right, quite understood, Lamulo. But then on Tuesday, the Electoral Court ruled in favor of your party, but it ruled in favor of MK. But this morning, the IEC released a statement stating that they're approaching the Constitutional Court. What do you make of this step by the IEC? Do you think that their move is politically motivated?
Well, you put it very eloquently. You're correct. This is a political move, and we're now starting to question, where are they getting their instructions from? Here's the reality. The IEC goes and upholds an objection, of which, by the way, let's take into consideration, out of all political parties that submitted parliamentary lists, if you were to consolidate all the candidates, there's about 15,000. President Zuma, in this case, is the only one who has had an objection against him out of all 15,000. That alone is telling. Then you have a situation where they want to use Section 47(1)(e) of the Constitution, that talks to eligibility of a member as it pertains to the National Assembly, when they, as the IEC, the Independent Electoral Commission, ought to be using the laws as a provisions or within their provisions. So they want to invoke, and what is what they're doing? They upheld an objection off the back of using a law that it gives powers to the National Assembly for membership. Their responsibility is to focus on whether the person is fit to meet the requirements as it pertains to being a candidate.
All right.
So already they were operating by virtue of invoking that law outside the jurisdiction, without authority and without mandate. And that's what we questioned, and that's how we won our case. Now, the mere fact that they go to the
Lamulo,
Constitutional Court.
I really apologize. Would have to stop you here. Time isn't on our side. But thank you so much for, shedding more light and also speaking to us on this. We really, really appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak to us.
Thank you.